Hey faculty, welcome back to Canvas 101. This is Owen from TVS's Educational Tech Department. Today's video will be about posting class documents. That's things like syllabi, class procedures, anything of that ilk, sort of class nuts and bolts that you might want to host and probably need to post for your parents to access. So let's get going. One of the first things you'll do, of course, when you log in, let me go back to the beginning because I hear that's a very good place to start. When you log in, of course, you land on your dashboard. And what we'll do is we'll want to select the class that we are going to start building out with our nuts and bolts folder. So I'm going to go into my sandbox course because I don't actually have courses like you guys. And what you're going to do when you open a course is you're going to see a list of modules. Now, what a module is, it's basically a kernel of a class. It could be a skill. When I taught, I always used modules as the skills I wanted my kids to learn. It could also be units, if you wanted to look at it that way. But I'm kind of an old school Madeline Hunter lesson designer, and so I always went with skills. The great thing about doing it with skills is you have these little chevrons that you can kind of close along the way. So kids, once they've achieved the objectives, can kind of close those, but they can go back to them if need be. So what I want to do today is I want to kind of show you a quick way to build in kind of a nuts and bolts module for your class that would house all of those kind of beginning of the school year sort of documents. So predictably, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to this module button that has the plus on it. Seems to be the ubiquitous symbol for add. And we're going to just title it. I'm going to title mine Nuts and Bolts. But you could call it anything. You could call it Class Materials. Now here's a cool thing too. This isn't so important on your Nuts and Bolts module, but this is kind of neat. If you are building in progressive lessons in your class and you don't want kids to see, let's say, Module 3 until they've finished Module 2, you can actually add in a prerequisite. They have to finish Module 2 before Module 3 will open. And as an English teacher, I instantly thought of the writing process in that as well. It would be kind of a cool way to sort of control the access to different doors and limit that until certain objectives have been achieved, or you could even lock it until a certain date as well. Right now, like I said, this is just a nuts and bolts module. We don't need to add any prerequisites. We don't need to lock it. So we're just going to go ahead and click Add Module. It adds it down at the bottom. What you can do is kind of drag these two little columns of bars. You can kind of drag it to the top. Or you could also go over to the gear and do Move To as well. But within that nuts and bolts module, I want to start adding in content. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click the plus. Once again, for whatever reason, it's a ubiquitous symbol for adding things. Joke, I hope you got that. So we're going to go ahead and of course, it defaults to assignment. We don't want to add an assignment here. We just want to add a file. So I'm going to click that drop-down menu, and we're going to click File. And I'm going to click New File and choose File. And I actually have a folder that's already prepared here in my documents that it's called Canvas Docs for Vid, so that I can access this. I'm looking for my syllabus. Okay, so I'm just going to load an old syllabus that I had when I used to teach English in Richardson ISD. So I'm going to select my syllabus and I'm going to click Open. And once you sort of see the the truncated version of your title document there, you can just click Add Item. And of course, guess what? It's right there. Notice it publishes it immediately. Okay, if you want to not publish it, you can just go ahead and click that, and it is not published right now. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and unpublish it right now. And so what we're going to do is we're going to go, actually, I don't want it to be called that. I'm going to change the title real quick. I'm going to go Edit, and I'm going to change that to just Course Syllabus. It's a little easier for parents, I think, to understand that versus my more specific name. So we're going to call that Course Syllabus, and it's there now for the parents as soon as I actually go in and publish it. So now that it's green, it will be available for parents to use, to see. Let's go ahead and add some more things in here. I'm going to go once again to File, and I'm going to add in, let's say, my cheating policy. Okay, we'll click Open and Add Item, and there's my cheating policy. And we'll do a couple more documents as well. Files. And I'm going to throw in my Eagle expectations in the classroom. We'll click Open, and we'll click Add Item. And then one more, we'll go to Choose File. And I'm going to just throw in an exemption policy in here so you can kind of see what a PDF would look like. Now, actually once I publish that, all of that whole folder will be published. Now I have all of these things in my nuts and bolts folder. Okay, so let's just kind of go into, let's click this link here, and I'll show you what it will look like. Now notice you get this little panda on a unicycle. What it's doing is it's preparing a document view of it. And this works in PDF and Word format, actually. It kind of adds a nice little sort of embedded look. That's just sort of, it's a little more professional than just a link. You could actually download it here, but I like the preview mode. It makes it look a little more polished. So that, in a nutshell, is really all you need to do to create a place for all of your course files. I hope that's clear. If you got any questions, you know where to find me. Thank you.